Welcome back to the show. Last time, I defeated the ancient water demon. Or whatever it was. It was a thing, okay? Anyway, now that we're all dried up, it is time for desert. The barrels, they roll in the desert like the Kongs of the African Sahara. No. There are barrels, though, for some reason. Actually, I like to think this is inspired directly from New Super Mario Bros. With these barrels. So I think that's what we're going for. It's a good stuff. You know, I had to actually physically figure out where some of these coins are, because some of them are devious, but I found out there's an inanimate bush, like, derived from the Super Mario 3 graphics. Yeah, that one. And it could lead to stuff, but it's not every single one. You just have to, like, guess that it was the right one? Well, you'll see in a moment. All the barrels roll, all the barrels roll, and they roll the barrels, and they roll, and they are barrels, and they roll. I don't know what this music is, but it sounds like desert music, so yeah, okay, cool. It's good. I'm always impressed by when I hear, like, custom music designed, well, not from any one game. That's the best stuff to hear. I hear it a lot more in, like, DOS game mods, though. I'm hoping people are trying to create their custom Mario music. Even though I don't mind it when you import it from games that I like anyway. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. You just gotta be careful with that stuff, because I don't think some of the DMCN censors care. Oh, another news. I re-registered my state ID, so I think in about, well, not next week, the week after. I have to do something next week. Sometime in July, I guess. I'm trying to set up the post office stuff. If not now, then before the end of the year. I still have to physically pay for the thing, you know. Well, what else besides that do we have going on in our whereabouts in the desert? It got shunted to World 2 when normally it's the water world that's World 3. Ah, no, it's okay. It's not a Mario game without a desert world after all, so I'm expecting a desert world in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Don't let me down. I expect to get high off mirages. Probably a nice one too. Oh, the classics. Or perhaps whatever, you know, they want to do. Be very interesting indeed. In fact, I haven't been this excited for a Switch game since Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It's going to be on that scale of game that I enjoy, for sure. I can't stop talking about it! I'm going to have to keep talking about it while I'm playing Mario stuff, though, huh? Until it releases by the end of the year. And yes, if it's possible to pre-order, maybe I'll actually pre-order it, because I don't even see the downside to pre-ordering that shit, other than maybe waiting for it to go cheaper. But I doubt this game's gonna get cheaper. It takes like decades for Nintendo games to get under $60. It's crazy. I'm hearing people being like, "I'm gonna accept games costing $7." It's like, I get it, man, but maybe it should depend more on how much time you spent on it now. You know? I like when they make a big game and it's like, okay, you paid for it. Also, there's microtransactions. It's like trying to put free-to-play game models in a game you pay for. What do you think I am? At least the yellow side's appropriate for the desert. Mm-hmm. A lot of aridness. Maybe an oasis or two. A lot of sand. It gets everywhere. The true enemy of Anakin Skywalker, the true antagonist of Star Wars, is sand itself. Tatooine. Koopa trouble. That's not very indicative of what's going to happen, is it? But it's also underground. I guess we just have Koopas? Sorry, this sounds like the most boring idea for this world. Alright, though. That just means I get to breathe easy while shit stays relatively easy still. We haven't really reached the bell end of the difficulty curve yet. Because you're a bell end, and that's why. Do 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 do. Again, don't know what that is. The music, I mean. Do, do, do. Oh yeah, I was trying to think of something that had nothing to do with the post office, but was relative to my channel. Oh, right. Yeah. I don't know how you guys feel about. I mean, I probably do know how you feel about ads. But the thing is that my videos aren't really calculated for giving you ads. Like at all. Except for if we put them like off the side of your video page. Which I know you don't use anyway. So it'd be like... Even if I were to allow ads in these videos, like just interrupt you from watching them. Which I'd most likely try to shove to the end if I felt like it. It really would be better if I would just sponsor something instead. Because then I could at least, you know, tell you that I want you to gauge your interest in whatever it is I'm selling. If it's just some random ad that I have no control over, I don't think that's good. I'd rather just be a standard one company wants this as opposed to whichever rando seems to accept it, because I've seen what random advertisements look like. They're bad. They're pretty bad. The only thing worse is mobile game ads. Ugh. Those are the worst kinds of ads I've ever seen. It's saying a lot. But at least there's no pop-ups anymore, but at what cost? At the what cost? Yes. Okay. Looks like someone vomited a bunch of turn blocks over there. Very good. Oh, you see these outlined blocks? You can go through them, but enemies cannot. That's how they work. There's been examples of this concept before, but having them represented by outlined blocks, that works. For me. I can try to gauge what the hell they're doing. Although this idea is not new in the ROM hacking. I've seen that idea as old as, like, Super Demo World Legend Continues. I'm wondering if I could try to do that one day. It's just that game is kind of aggravating. Like, everything about Super Demo World Legend Continues is everything I disliked about early ROM hacks that, and not for necessarily a Kaizo reason, because that idea wasn't really popularized the way we see it now. But it's just kind of, I don't know, it's what happens when you don't know what level design is, but it still actually looks like it. So it's wearing like the skin of Mario, but something's not really right. But it's mostly the special world that pisses me off. It's just like, uh-oh, if you don't do these X's in the right way, you're going to get locked out of your game forever. Like, imagine doing that in cartridge and finding out you had to start from the beginning. That'd be terrible. I don't know how I came to that conclusion. I mean, I don't know how I came to discuss about a much older thing. Oh, right, because of the outlined blocks, yeah. Let's go get the secret exit so we can go back to the bonus house. I think the only world that doesn't have a bonus house is the very last one. You know, when it wouldn't make sense for Toad to set up there, because how would he have done that? I don't know. It is funny. It's like, oh man, Toad House in the final world. Yeah, I skipped fast through all these obstacles, Mario, and set up shop. Hope you don't mind. It's the end of the world, but there's time to shop till you drop. Oh, what's that? The world can wait 30 more minutes while I buy even more items? No problem. World's not going anywhere. You know, princess being kidnapped. Actually, in this game, the princess is not kidnapped. Or is she? I don't remember any. Look, playing Mario for plot is not really all it's cracked up to be, unless you're doing an RPG. Then you kind of have to write something, don't you? Yes, you do. Let's mark it down on our calendar as !orb day. Oh yeah, advance notice. Since we're getting close to Independence Day, you know, America, #1, yay. If fireworks start going off, which they will, That's gonna stop me from recording because they're loud. It's to the degree, like, the only thing that's just as loud is if I get a really loud thunderstorm. Then I have to not do it. Never mind if I risk a power outage. Like, you'll hear the thunder. It's crazy. So welcome to Super Mario Land. A game which I'm not covering because it's an ancient Game Boy game. In, like, the very ancient sense. Like, it's not bad. I've played it plenty of times. I've beaten it. Dozens of times. Really. It's one of those games I just play once a year. It's like, oh, it's time to play this again. It's like, okay. But this borrows heavily from Super Mario Land. Except for that. That up and down lava shit. No. But it's weird because we're using the music from World 4, but we're using elements from their World 1 and World 3. I do not see elements of their World 2. It'd probably be that guy that, like, throws his head off himself. But no, that game is really interesting. Like, from a design standpoint. Because it's like, hey, you gotta create Mario Brothers for the Game Boy for the first time. It's like, what am I doing? It's like, I don't know, man. It's our handheld black and white shit. Remember our stupid Game & Watches? Well, now we gotta animate them, like, for reals this time. I swear. It's like, okay. By the way, I didn't just make the Game Boy, I also like to mess with Gundams. That's why they call me Gunpla Yokai. That's right, Gundam Spirit, creator of Game Boy. That's a joke you shouldn't be able to get. Get out of my house. Gunplay Yokai. Yes, the best Game Boy man. Can't believe I just came up with that. That's fantastic. I have to write that down somewhere. Rope is going up and it goes down, but the coins do not. Sometimes you gotta watch out for that stuff when there's vertical movement and suddenly a coin becomes part of it. I can't help but think this Star Invincibility track sounds like J-pop. But I just don't know, so... I'm invincible and you are not. And, yeah. There you go. Exits home free. Just for you and me. The Krusty Krab pizza. Positively. For you and me. Yes. Next up. Oh, wait, no, I gotta go back for that secret exit, dude. Because I clearly have to get towards the oasis. Oh, yeah, there's a switch palace over there you see in the bottom right. We can't get there yet. I'll come back for that. Well, it's not that I'm coming back for it. I just can't get it from here. I have to take a pipe in a later world to get in there. Okay. Won't that be a lot of nonsense? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of nonsense. All the nonsense fit to fill all my sense. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but Japan really likes Easter Island heads in their video games. And I give them a thumbs up. I approve. You can especially see it when you're playing Gradius. Oh my god. Gradius is all about random Easter Island heads in space. That's what I know it for, that's what I love it for. Although it's really usually one part of the game. But still, come on. Oh man! Misaligned walking velocities. Yes, there's flying green coins too. Which, now you know how they work, because they're just modified flying red coins and put into a place where they don't have wings. Ta-da! Programming. Or coding, rather. Because we're using hexadecimals. Or, yeah, we're using ASM. Of course, if we're using a repeat of ASM, it would be ASM repeat ASMR. You know, you whisper while you're hacking your Marios. That sounds very good. You won't believe that I'll give you wings. And if I do give you wings, that's a load of red bullshit. As I thought. Not good on the intestines. Come with me, and we'll see a world just for you. Yeah. That's my favorite thing. I like the Chai Kingdom because it had those Chinese zombie things. Which I want to cosplay as one of those for Halloween in Jiangxi. Start hopping around like a maniac. It's like, yeah, check me out, yeah. Whoop. I come back. Also, don't put some fucking scroll on me. That hurts me, you know. Whoa, here it comes! Well, at least I don't have to worry about getting coins again. Could have been slightly annoying. Yes, I know when you don't have to apologize. When we're talking about ancient Asia, the stuff is about as typical as it can get. It's like, does that sound like China? It sure does. I thought that was a poignant use of my star.
Hope you don't blame me.
It's just another level. Tricky Fuzzy Pond. You know, when you go in the hot spring, but someone tossed in some, like, you know, weed bath salts. Available now! Available right now. I don't know where, but they're available. Maybe locally, maybe far away, perhaps near you. Kirby 3 music again. Yep. Hey, it's good. You shut up now. Although, oddly enough, I don't see a lot of Kirby 3 music being referenced that is specifically Kirby 3 like this one, but, you know, it's fun. Still want to try to do Kirby Return to Dreamland for you once I get this weird jittery graphics figured out. I mean, the frame rate. It's noticeable. I didn't realize how noticeable it was when I was playing Donkey Kong Country Returns, but I'm noticing it now, and it's driving me crazy. I don't know if they could fix it yet, but maybe. I mean, I update my machines a lot, so we'll find out. By a lot, I mean once a month. As it should be. Once a week if I have to. Basically, I get reminders and just check how much stuff did they change. If it ends up being like a couple dozen, I'm like, okay, it's time for the update. Especially if it's all like system updates, like, yeah, let's go, bitch. Let's update that computer. Yeah, let's go. I thought the fuzzies would die when I did that. They didn't. I don't understand. Oh, I guess that's why they call it fuzzy logic. You just don't understand. No, I guess I don't. Fuck you, fuzzy mathematics. Fuck. Oh, no. Interesting. The water has affected its jump height significantly. I have not seen this in action. This is what I mean, you have to test your thing, because otherwise shit like that happens. You're like, but why? And you don't really know. Like, remember when I clipped through the ground in that other video? Yeah, like, I couldn't account for that. I didn't even know what to do. I just went for it again, but stuff like that happens, and people are like, why do you leave all the deaths in? Well, I think it's a sign of skill that I try to leave not too many deaths, but enough deaths to show you that, like, A, I'm human, and B, that, you know, it's still possible to win if you fail. Like, I don't know. I think people are afraid of watching people lose. Maybe they think I should be compared to that tool-assisted speedrun guy. I hear Taz is the best gamer around, you know. He's very fast, he's very efficient, and he's hilarious. Everyone loves Taz guy. He's the Taziest. Yes, he's the Taz, the tool-assisted speedrun manian devil. Of course, that's who he is. Oh, wait. I forgot there was the whole pond part to this. So, okay. Just underwater now. We're under the water! Oh, I am in the oasis part of the desert, so, okay. I wonder what that must be like. What kind of fish live in an oasis? Oh my, I'm gonna... Okay, that one I might actually look up. This does sound interesting. It's like, yes, I've evolved only to live inside this oasis. Someday it may dry up, but today is not that day. I wonder if that's where we got, like, the fish that walk on land or some shit. The lungfish. So named because it fucking breathes! That's right. Okay, I just realized, you look at those spiny things, it looks like those graphics were used as a palette swap for the Urchin palette swap I saw that other time. Sort of. Also, something funky's happening in the background of this music. Sound font's breaking over its importedness. Oh, this is a Far Cry I would have had it used to, because back then people would use the add music tool to add music to Super Mario World, and it would break a lot of things if you did not run it on Zed's SNES. Like, it would not run on an actual console like it should. Thankfully, we don't use that anymore, but, you know, there are going to be times if you throw me a very old Mario mod that I'm going to have to use Zed's SNES. And there's going to be no way of going around it. Z-SNES. Z-SNES. So, just be mindful if you see that and you're like, what's the fuck's happening here? And you're like, yeah, had to do it. This is true for Mario 64 also, but I already worked around that. Using what's called Ogre. As the graphics plugin, so we're good on that front. You can do whatever the stupid shit you want with your modding. I'll find a way to make it work. That's what I'm good for. Your game doesn't run, I'll be right there for you. It's like, yeah, I guess you consider me not a designer, but more of an engineer. That might make more sense in the grand scheme of things. I understand the engine more than I understand design. It makes so much sense now. I can't believe you were trying to make me run out of time, game. You pulling that shit in World 3? I don't got time for your lack of time crap. Time to split. Time cop. Misty Plains. I thought we were done with water. This is the desert. No more water. Got it? No more. Okay, it's just the clouds in the background. Fine. But that doesn't... We're back on the Sonic R music. Alright, sweet. Can you see? I'm playing a Mario ROM hack. It's really fun and it's cool. You like it. It makes me wanna kick shit. Want to play stuff like Super Mario World. My fans are cool. And what brings me fucking alive? Yeah, I give up. And brief Tetris detour. Seriously, Tetris music. I mean, I like it, but it's so random. Why did it take so long for the Yoshi dialogue to register? I've been with Yoshi since World 1. What happened? You should have told me on the first sign of a green Yoshi coming up. But no, it's just this yellow Yoshi that tells me what's up with the space tower Rosalina has, I think, something galaxy related. Yeah. So there's going to be space involved at some point. Spoilers. Spoiled the plot of a Mario mod. Oh no. Spoilers, I win. I wouldn't post this if I didn't win. Although your mileage may vary on what winning means, essentially, anyway, so. That's up to you. Thinking pretty great. Triple Rex jump. That's gonna be my new ice skating move, the Triple Rex jump. Yeah, I'll get all the points. That's what we want to say. This is why I need the karaoke machine, so I can actually read the words. If I make up mine on the fly, I'm going to have to, like, write it first and hear it thousands of times first. And I actually did that a couple times with some things, just because I thought it was funny, but they were never really meant to be any sort of serious project, so you're never going to see it. There's one thing I did a long time ago, I don't know if I can find it now, but, it is basically an acapella of me doing the Captain Planet theme song, but you see, I did acapella for each instrument, so I recorded myself several times, like, I was just multiple syllables doing it. It's like it sounded like cacophony, because I can't actually imitate that in one voice, but it's just a bunch of me's doing the different doing the different instruments. It's fantastic. Would have been good for one of those videos where you see like a grid of all my different takes for doing it. Required star. Yeah. Good level design. Very nice. 10 out of 10. Would play again. Oh no, the hills look like mustard. Brown mustard at that. Give some mustard. So alive. The bullet bills want to give me hives. Okay. Hey, guy. I forgot I could eat a Mega Mole. I guess you can do that. I think it might supersede my Yoshi's calorie requirements. I'd say check the Yoshi's BMI, but I'm all about the BVI. It's the volume that matters. Volume matters more than mass, my friend. You want to be dense. Just like most people are. They're dense. Be dense! Sand Crush Fortress. I happen to like this fortress. If not for a few little collision detection fuck-ups. But I like it, okay? I think we had something like this before. Or maybe you've seen something like... Yeah, this happened in the previous Classic Mario, didn't it? Instead of yellow, though, now it's more of a you know, a tan. Like the German military vehicle tan. It's that kind of color. As opposed to the last time I did the Desert Fortress like this, which was just complete yellowness. So, that's fine. We could use different shades. So that means... Oh, so I'm thinking the collision detection from the previous game and not this one. Okay, yeah. I'm telling you, man. My ROM hack history is just blurring all together at this point. Expect me to remember all these levels. Dude, I just remember them one at a time. I try to keep my log, the current game working on short-term memory, so I know what I'm doing later. But then by that point, when I've finished the game, my memory of it kind of goes out the window, including all the things I may have said about it. You don't expect to remember everything I've ever said, do you? I hope not. But recording it keeps me on track, so there's that thing about it. These swamps go up and down very furiously. There isn't really an indicator of when they do it, you just gotta watch what they're doing. Because they'll do it fast. Oh, look, the triple ball and chain. It's giving me the peace sign. Oh, look, the thwimp thinks he's a thwomp. It's so cute. He tries to go up and down, it's like, I'm a real thwomp! It's like, no, you're a thwimp. Fuck you! I'm a strong thwimp, I don't need no man. Don't need anybody. Don't need you. Get the hell out of here. Damn it. It's not supposed to be like this. I never asked for this. So that's why they call me Thwimp Jensen. Justice for Thwimps. 2023. Alright. Yep, sideways thwomp. Sure. No problem. I can take it. Give me your sideways thwomps. I'm not afraid of you. Oh boy. At least I can trust the thwimps not to go up and down that fast. They act like the normal ones. You know, the entire time I played this game, I do not think we've had one of those big crusher things. You know, the big sledge or whatever. Oh, I want to see what Smithy looks like in 3D. That should be really interesting. So the boss is the thwomp. And we just have to blow it up a few times. That's it! It's all going to come down the timing. So just take your time and just try not to get hit. In fact, if you're not even worried about hitting it directly, just try to dodge everything. So that he can just make his own mistakes on his own some. Which is like Lonesome, except just you. That is the way. Alright, Desert Thwomp, you have been defeated by me, Super Mario. Soup Mario of Soup. Cream of Soup Mario. Next time, there be chainsaws in the air. Yeah, okay. That sounds terrifying. You know, before Jason went to space, he first had to escape the atmosphere, and this is where he is right now.